Welcome to a new episode of our podcast dedicated to regulatory affairs and life science. In today's episode, we will talk of local pharmacovigilance requirements and how to be compliant. Over the years, pharmacovigilance has become a fundamental topic for pharmaceutical companies, which are required to monitor the safety of medicinal products placed on the market through the implementation and maintenance of an adequate pharmacovigilance system. In the European Union, the responsibilities, processes and activities to be implemented by the Marketing Authorisation Holder of medicinal products are described in detail in the Good Pharmacovigilance Practice, published and kept updated by the European Medicine Agency. The central theme is precisely the pharmacovigilance system, and therefore the set of standard operating procedures, processes, flows and relationships between the various parties involved which allow the correct performance of pharmacovigilance activities in compliance with the current legislation. This system is described in the Pharmacovigilance System Master File, PSMF, a dynamic document constantly updated and therefore also collecting information on all changes that have occurred to the pharmacovigilance system over time. The responsibility for the pharmacovigilance system lies with the European Qualified Person for Pharmacovigilance, the EU QPPV, who must be appointed by the MAH and notified to the competent authorities. As reported in the GVP, the MAH must ensure that the EU QPPV has sufficient authority to influence the quality system and pharmacovigilance activities. The EU QPPV is supported by other key figures for the correct execution of the pharmacovigilance processes and compliance with the legislation, such as, for example, a deputy EU QPPV, who takes over in case of absence or inability of the EU QPPV, and then medical staff, a pharmacovigilance unit that deals with the various processes under the supervision of the EU QPPV, and a quality unit dedicating, among other things, to updating and maintaining the quality system for pharmacovigilance. What is the difference between the EU QPPV and the local QPPV? The European Qualified Person for Pharmacovigilance, the EU QPPV, must be appointed by the Marketing Authorisation Holder and is responsible for the entire pharmacovigilance system on behalf of the MAH in the European Union. Other responsibilities include, for example, acting as a single point of contact for pharmacovigilance for the competent authorities of the Member States and for the EMA 24 hours a day, acting as a point of contact for pharmacovigilance inspections, having a constant overview of the safety profiles of medicinal products and any safety issues, ensuring the correct performance of pharmacovigilance activities and the submission of all documents relating to pharmacovigilance in accordance with the legislation. The local QPPV, sometimes also called Local Pharmacovigilance Responsible Local Pharmacovigilance Contact Point, LCPPV, or Local Safety Officer, is instead responsible for the local pharmacovigilance activities and acts as a point of contact for the national competent authority. Not all member states of the European Union require the appointment of a local QPPV. The choice depends on the individual countries. In member states where this role is required by local legislation, the MAH must therefore appoint a local QPPV and provide information and contact details to the national competent authority. The main role of the local pharmacovigilance responsible is to act as a contact point for the national competent authorities for any issue relating to the safety of medicinal products authorized in that member state of the European Union. In addition, They supervise the pharmacovigilance activities that must be carried out at local level in agreement with the EU QPPV and the MAH. These include, for example, the management of local adverse drug reactions, the management of any follow-ups, the literature screening of non-indexed national journals, the maintenance of a quality system for pharmacovigilance, and any contact with the competent authority. Outsourcing the role of the local pharmacovigilance responsible, as well as pharmacovigilance activities locally, is often a strategic choice for pharmaceutical companies, which can thus ensure compliance with the current legislation and have the support of consultants providers experienced in managing pharmacovigilance processes. The Renzo Regulatory Affairs has a large team of highly qualified personnel dedicated exclusively to pharmacovigilance. We can therefore assume the role of local QPPV and deputy in Italy and handle all activities at a national level, including the assumption of the role of local QPPV and deputy in Italy and registration with the National Pharmacovigilance Network, the RNF, of the Italian Medicine Agency, the management of reports of adverse drug reaction ICSRs, translation, QC and forwarding to the EU QPPV MAH according to the modalities and timing defined in the Safety Data Exchange Agreement, the SDEA, the management of follow-ups, the local literature screening on non-indexed national newsletter and journals, the management and maintenance of a quality system for pharmacovigilance, the contacts with IFA for safety issues, the training of company staff of any national affiliates or other partners, the pharmacovigilance intelligence, the execution of audits to third parties where required, the preparation or review of SDEAs with third parties where required, and any other activity related to local pharmacovigilance if required. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you want to listen to other podcasts, sign up for our channel, follow up on our social media and join us for next episode.